On today's episode, I'm going to give a little update on the road trip journey and a little small win that I had this week, which I'm really excited to talk about. So with that being said, welcome to another episode of What Is Go. Today, as you can see, we have a new setup. I am not in the car today, and yeah, I'm really excited. I'm finally using the lights I bought like 2 years ago, and I'm finally using them, so I'm glad about that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, because that's support the podcast. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can also follow there, and in Spotify, you can comment. So leave your comments, please, so I can read them. Alrighty, now let's start with the episode. Also, quick note, I am kind of sick, so my voice is gonna feel, you're gonna hear it kind of like, I don't know what's the word, like dry or like rough or I don't know. But with that being said, road trip. Okay, I've been wanting to do a road trip, and if you've listened to previous episodes, then you've kind of heard like I've been wanting to do a road trip for the past like 3-4 years, and I've never really intentionally put it as a goal. It was kind of like wishful thinking, like, oh, I would like to do a pod, I would like to do a road trip. I would love to do like go and drive. And this year, 2024, it was more concrete. It was more like actually setting it as a goal, like what exactly do I need? And I did start saving some money for the car, and started to do research on like what do I need, like what do I need for road trips. Started watching van life videos, like what do they use, and kind of like the most minimalistic list that I could use to also do my road trip, where it's not a lot of money, where it's like a budget and whatnot. And so the update, I guess, is that I don't have money anymore. I spent some of the money, especially Black Friday, buying some stuff. So like the bed, the stove, the jackery was probably one of like the biggest expenses, if not the biggest expense. And that one cost me almost $1,000. So that was probably the big expense. But because it was Black Friday, I was like, oh, maybe I should buy it now. But that also made me spend quite a bit of money in lowering my budget for the car, and actually really not being able to afford a car, especially the car that I want, which is a Honda Element 2009. And I've been seeing so many Honda Elements all over the place. I'm like, that could be my car. That could be my car. It looks so beautiful. That could be my car. And a quick story, actually. I was babysitting. It was like 3 different babysitting jobs, and the first one, which was almost a month ago, kind of like the 3rd, 4th week of November, I was babysitting this kid, and he was sick, so they told me, oh, can you come with us to the doctor so they could check him out, like you like play with him and whatnot. So we went, and that was like the first time I saw a Honda Element. I saw that specific Honda Element. I'm like, oh damn, like that's a sign, like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And then in another babysitting job, the girl was also sick, the baby was also sick, so they took her to the doctor, and then that same doctor, and the car was still there, that Honda Element was still there. And it's so crazy because it's like, it looks like nobody moves, like nobody uses it, and it has an Ohio plate too. So I'm like, that's kind of that's kind of weird. And then this week on Monday and Tuesday, my babysitting job, exactly the building is right in front of that Honda Element where I work. So I was like, is this coincidence? Is this a coincidence? Is this not? Like, and then I see that the car has a flat tire, so there's no way they're using that car. So I'm like trying to figure out how to get in contact with them, but that's kind of like a little story of like, the Honda, like seeing the Honda Element all the time, and then like, is this like a sign for me to approach the owner somehow? And I've been like researching it as well, like how can I find contact information? Because it will be like an amazing opportunity to just like, one, be able to talk to the owner, and like, two, being able to see if I can buy it from them, and in a really fair price. But that was like a quick update on the road trip. And then I've been trying to figure out ways on how to make more money in order for me to actually buy a car, because I really need it by January. Like January, end of January is like kind of like the deadline, because I really want to do the road trip on February, just so that I could have enough time to come back for my seasonal job and then make more money, and then and during winter to go do another road trip again. So that's kind of like the plan right now. So figuring out a way to make money in January, like literally first 2 weeks of January, in order to make enough money for the car, which is kind of like a crazy thing, but I trust. And but yeah, that's really like the what's been going on. And then the most recent thing, besides like seeing a lot of Honda Elements, is that I've also been seeing the Volkswagen new van, the ID Buzz. And man, oh man, like this car, like even though it's kind of like funky looking, like I don't know, it's like it's definitely not a classic, but it's a modern type of style. It's kind of like funky, but it's different, but it's also like cool at the same time. And where I live, there's actually a Volkswagen dealership close by. So I decided to, after a long delay and a long procrastination, I decided to go and actually go and test drive it. And I probably took like a whole week. And then yesterday, the day I'm recording, so the day I'm recording, today's Saturday, so yesterday, Friday, I was like, okay, I need to go. I'm free today. Let's go. We could go. And I just procrastinated so much. Like, no, maybe I should go Saturday, like today. Maybe I should go like today, blah, blah, blah. And I'm so glad I went yesterday. And then, and it was like yesterday, it was more of a, okay, like, no, we got this. Like, what's the worst that could happen? I just breathed out, like, no, we're going today. And I didn't overthink it anymore. It was okay. It was like 3:30. Like, we got time. Let's go. And then, okay, I put on my shoes. I got dressed, and then I put on my shoes, and then I was like, okay, let's go. So I drove over there, because I was planning on walking just to delay it more, but I was like, no, there's like a parking space right there, so let's just go there. And that's what I did. I parked the car, I went to the thing, and then, mind you, I'm sick, so my voice sounds like really funny, and like it kind of like goes away, so it's kind of hard to talk a lot. So I went to the wrong like department, I guess, because like it was kind of weird. Like, it was kind of funky too, like, because they were under construction and part, and then their sales apartment is in a trailer type of thing, on a container. And then I ended up going to the service apartment, and then I'm like, what do I say? And then like my questions are kind of like, they don't understand me. I'm like, this is why I don't go out. But pretty much, like, tell me, okay, you can go to the sales department, like, they'll help you out, and if you want to do the test drive, they'll help you out over there. And I went there, and then I kind of had to wait for a bit, and I wasn't really sure, like, what to do, because there was only one salesperson in there, and nobody, like, told me, like, there was, like, two women there, and they didn't ask me if I needed help or anything. They just, like, saw me, like, stood there, and I'm like, okay, thanks. And then at some point, the manager came by and was like, oh, like, do you need something? And blah, blah, blah. Well, that is not really important. The only thing I will say is that they need to kind of work on their service side of, like, ask, like, oh, do you want to sit down type of thing. But I won't get into that, because maybe I'm just biased. I don't know. So I asked for the test drive, and I was so excited to, like, because I've been seeing this car for almost, like, 2-3 weeks now. Like, I want to go test drive. And so they taken me to the car, and I see the car is a beautiful blue color, and I was like, what? And then, like, the windows, and it's just like, it's like, this is something I've been wanting since I was a kid. Like, that's freaking crazy. I've always wanted the Volkswagen van, especially like the classic one. Like it would just be so fucking cool to like have that van, to have the car. So shout out to Darius, like, he's the one who like showed me the car and like did a whole test drive with me, and who also actually recorded some of the videos. So I'll probably like put a video like now, I guess, with like me driving the car. So shout out to him. I really appreciate it. And just like the drive, it was so beautiful. Like, it was so smooth. Like, I mean, just like with any new car, like we own a 2014 Chrysler car, and it's already like on the side of like it's time to go, like time to let go. So the driving doesn't feel as smooth as it should be. But man, with this car, it was so smooth. We went to the highway, and I was driving, and it felt so nice. And then it was I was driving, and then when I see the car like going 80 miles per hour, like, oh shit, I gotta slow down. It's like you don't feel it, and it's just, oh man, I kind of fell in love with that car. I was so excited to just having the opportunity to drive it was so nice, because I know at the end of the day I'm not gonna get that car. Like, that's a $70,000 car, and it's not to like demotivate me, but it's definitely not a car I could afford. And actually, when I was talking to the manager, he told me like his neighbor bought like 4 vans. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I wish, if only, if only I could do I could do that. Like, that would be so freaking crazy. Like, having 4 vans, like, just because you like it. Like, it's the level of abundance like that they're on is kind of crazy. And I wish I could be like, yo, can you like buy an extra one just for me? But yeah, that's pretty much like the experience. Like, just getting out of my comfort zone in that sense, because I really I did not want to go. I was like, I fear like interactions, and I fear like asking questions, and I don't know. It was definitely way out of my comfort zone. But like, Darius, shout out to Darius again. Like, it was really nice. Like, he was able to like flow with conversation, and I was able to like tell my story too as well, like the podcast and that journey. So I was really excited, because sometimes I feel like when I do talk about it, I feel like judged, but I feel like I've been getting more comfortable just like saying, oh yeah, I have a podcast and this is what I do, type of thing. So that's really exciting in my part. Like, I'm actually more proud now than I used to before. So that's like a really nice thing to like acknowledge as well, because I feel like before I used to not want anybody to know about the podcast. It's like just me and like my experiences and whatnot. But now I'm more excited and more open to like sharing, like, oh yeah, like, this is my podcast, and like, you can follow if you want, blah blah blah. But again, at the end of the day, all of that was out of my comfort zone, and I'm really just excited to, one, have been able to drive the ID Buzz van. Like, again, it's such a nice drive. I'm so jealous of the people that do have a car that can afford that luxury. Because at the end of the day, it's a privilege to have like a car like that, and just like, honestly, any new car, like man, like one day I would be able to. But yeah, I think like, also logistics wise, having an electric car would also be more difficult, just because of the charging stations, and like wanting to do a road trip all across America. It's gonna be difficult, and it's definitely require more planning. But honestly, if Volkswagen sponsors this trip, I'll be down to kind of like do all that logistics and the planning. And like, honestly, you're really seeing if a van like that is down for like a road trip like that. Like, is it actually possible to do something like that with a Volkswagen van, especially electric? So that'll kind of be a really cool experiment to do. And if Volkswagen wants to sponsor this, I am so down. Like my information is down below. But yeah, so I think that's really it with the road trip, like the update on the road trip. Like, it might be delayed a bit more, which it kind of sucks. But it kind of reminds me that I need to work on my finances. It also reminds me that like, you have to work on the things. Like, it's not just like wishful thinking, or just like manifesting it in a way. Like stuff like this of going and test driving a car, it's part of like the process. And if I were to have delayed it even more, there still would have been a lot to learn. So, or I wouldn't have been able to do this podcast episode, because I didn't have the experience. So what exactly am I going to talk about? But nevertheless, that's kind of like the quick update on the road trip. I already have my stuff, like the essentials for the road trip, like my bed, the jackery, and the stove. And a stove. So I already have. I literally could leave this month, because I already have the stuff, like the essentials. So I just need the car. And I'm really excited. It's just to kind of see the possibilities that could come by, because someone could come and give me a ID Buzz van, or a Honda Element 2009 with the moonroof, and like just being able, like, oh my god, the ID Buzz van. Like, I'll put a clip. Uh, the roof from the top, like, it has the sunroof or whatever, but it's like humongous. It's like literally the whole car. And so imagine sleeping in that car at night, like in freaking Colorado or Arizona, wherever you could see the stars, like so nice, like really nice. And like being able to sleep like that, like that would be so fucking cool. That would be so fucking awesome. And man, oh man, that would be such an amazing experience. But yeah, that's just ah okay, but yeah, just like thinking about it excites me, and it's gonna be really cool at the end of the day to kind of like see the whole process and the journey and the things that would have to do and have to do, and the opportunities and possibilities, because again, someone could give me a Volkswagen or a Honda Element or really any like nice car, and being able to like do the road trip like that. And that'll be good marketing for the people who give me the car. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just excited to see how all of this unfolds, and just like trusting the process at the end of the day, because maybe I'm not ready, maybe there's some other things I need to learn and whatnot. But I think I've taken some of the steps, like going into dealerships, going in and asking for a test drive, knowing I'm not going to buy the car, and just really interacting with people, where I know that's like my biggest fear, like just interacting with people, and like being scared of like what I'm gonna say, or just being way too honest, or like way saying more than I have to. Like that's probably also the biggest fear, and something I do a lot. And you can also tell, like with the podcast, I sometimes tell more than I maybe should. But with that being said, I am super excited just to kind of like continue seeing the journey and giving the updates on the whole road trip thing. And then like I know there's gonna be a day where like it's happening. I'm gonna make a video and say 2025 road trip is happening. Like honestly, I can't imagine it, but I'm so excited. I'm so like I think that's like kind of like the resistance I need to take out. Like that it's like maybe like low key unconsciously I still believe that it's not possible, especially like with finances, especially yeah, I think it's just finances really of just not having the car. But I think once I like kind of let go of that, and I'm definitely working on that, and especially now that I'm conscious about it, like just removing that limiting belief, and like knowing that there is gonna be a way, we just gotta figure it out, and like whatever idea comes, like take action on that idea. So yeah, with that being said, before I keep rambling on about this whole thing and like going all over the place again, I really appreciate you watching and listening wherever you're watching, whatever platform you're watching on. And don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, follow, comment, all of that, because that really supports the podcast. And yeah, with that being said, have an amazing, beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.